Around 12 people become victims of identity theft online. That's every second. It makes it more than 1 million victims worldwide every single day. Now, the annual Experian Innovation Summit is exploring some of the effects of identity fraud. We're joined in studio by Experian's Chief Innovation Officer, Adam Tyler. Adam, you've been in studio for about, or at least in this chair, for less than a minute now. So in that time, are the figures really as alarming as you say they are?
The problem is the figures aren't just as alarming, they're getting worse. This is a trend which continues year on year on year to increase. And the problem that we have is we live in a society where data connects us all. Data has become our most valuable asset, but it's also one of the most easy to steal. Gone are the days of the bank heist. Gone are the days of the loot in a vault. Now you can effectively sit on the other side of the planet and steal millions of pounds with a couple of clicks of the button.
So who should be worried? And I'm speaking now about, thinking about just the ordinary person at home who's watching, who has a cell phone at the very least, might have online banking, might have various other applications on whatever technologies they're using.
Well, I mean, to tell the truth, there probably aren't many people that don't have some kind of reliance on digital connected services today. And even more scary, even if you don't have a phone, your data is still going to be being distributed anyway. We live in a world where our data is shared, even if we don't know it all the time. Now, who is affected? Everyone. This is a worldwide problem. The internet is a global phenomenon, but that means that it touches everyone everywhere, from the consumer to the corporate to the governments. And the big reason for that is the change in face of the attackers themselves. It used to be that we could define what a fraudster looks like. They would fit into this kind of box. They would have these qualities. They would look this way. But the problem now is that we live in a world where anyone can have access to the knowledge and capabilities to carry out these kind of attacks with a couple of words in a search engine. And many of your viewers may not know those words, but the younger generation do. The younger generation who have already started to look up to hackers. The hacker culture is now cool. These individuals understand that all of the knowledge, all of the content, all of the tools they need to carry out attacks is freely available through any search engine. And the scary thing is it's becoming easier and easier and easier.
Through the patterns and the trends that you've been reading, because obviously if I'm sitting at home, I would be getting very nervous. I'm in studio with you and I'm also getting slightly nervous. So in terms of how we should be approaching or appropriating the concern, the issues of identity fraud, the issues of hacking, which you have raised, also fraud detection, which people need to perhaps learn more about. So when it comes to all of these, which is top of the radar?
Do you know what? Education. Education and insight, and not only insight, but the real insight, the reality of the situation. We hear time and time again about cyber gangs in various countries, about advanced hackers carrying out these attacks. And most people at home think, why would they target me then? I'm not a victim. But the truth of the matter is like I said before, it's the young individuals that are doing it as a game. We have online gaming now, which is hugely popular. It's created huge user bases. But in the same way, many individuals see this as a game. There have been movies, War Games 1983. Matthew Broderick nearly started World War III by tapping away on a computer, not realizing the consequences of his actions.
So what are these gangs after?
You know what? They're after whatever they can get. They're after that buzz and that thrill of accessing something. Because a lot of these individuals are under 21 years old. They're after the kudos. They're after the respect. A lot of the data is traded or distributed for free, but it's done to prove that they can. It's done as a game to earn respect in this online world, which to a younger generation is becoming even more valuable than the real world.
All right, we've run out of time, but I have to ask you this before I let you go. How can we then protect ourselves within this environment?
Everyone needs to rely on the experts. A security company like Experian, we've spent years and years and years monitoring these communities, seeing how they develop, and then making ways to allow customers to protect themselves. It's a constant cat and mouse game. Customers need to rely on an expert to protect them, to keep them up to date, and to understand the changes, the trends, and the evolution of both the fraud, the data itself, and the attackers.
All right. Thank you so much for coming into a studio to speak to us on Newsnight about this very important issue, some of the cyber crime experiences. And, you know, literally most people have a cell phone these days. And as long as you're online, you are at risk, as we've heard. Experian Partner Solutions Chief Innovation Officer, Adam Tyler.